Hi everyone, welcome to another very important topic for the CISSP exam. You will definitely see one or two questions related to this topic. So let's get started. So this is business continuity planning, BCP. So BCP in this image you can see multiple phases. The first one is identify. Uh, Here goal is identify threats and risks. What can go wrong? So we do risk assessment. But one thing we need to keep in mind, identify assets at high level, not critical yet. So we will not discuss which asset is critical, most critical, and which is not critical. So it is kind of high level. We will identify the asset, we will identify threats plus vulnerabilities, estimate likelihood and risk. So here no business prioritization, no RTO, RPO here, so it is very high level. At phase two, we will in fact discuss business impact analysis, determine what is the critical, what hurts the business most, activities, identify critical processes and assets. So here we will identify the assets and processes, the most critical assets. So that we need to keep in mind. Critical processes and assets. So in identify phase, we just gather the information at very high level. So here we need to define RTO, RPO, MTD, maximum tolerable downtime. But before we continue any further, so let me tell you what RTO is and what RPO is. So RTO is recovery time objective. So recovery time objective means maximum acceptable time a system or process can be down after an incident. How fast we recover. So let me write it down here. RTO is recovery time objective. And RPO is recovery point objective. So these two terms we should remember. So first one is RTO, how fast we can recover system. And uh, RPO is maximum acceptable data. So these are two terms very important. So we should know for the CISSP exam. So analyze the business impact analysis. In this phase, we also calculate RTO and RPO. So let me give you a very simple example. For instance, if there is a system down, acceptable time a system or process can be down after an incident, right? How much time we accept, how fast must we recover. For instance, payroll system RTO is 4 hours, email system RTO is 24 hours. If recovery takes longer than RTO, the defined RTO or the acceptable RTO, the business impact becomes unacceptable. It could be a disaster. So we need to calculate our RTO, how long we can accept it, the system recovery. RPO, recovery point objective, maximum acceptable data measure in a time. For instance, how much data can we afford to lose? RPO is 15 minutes. Backup must ensure no more than 15 minutes are data lost. Smaller RPO, more frequent backups, higher cost. RTO time to recover and RPO data you can lose. Again, RTO is time to recover and RPO is data you can lose. So this is in fact in a business impact analysis BIA. So we in fact quantify financial loss, legal, regulatory impact, reputational damage. RTO and RPO are defined here in this particular phase. Phase three, decide how to recover. Select recovery strategies: hot, warm, cold sites, backup types, cloud disaster recovery, cost, RTO, RPO requirements. So that is done in the design phase. In this phase, strategy selection. Phase four, plan development, build and deploy plans. So here we start deploying our plans, right? So we implement our plans, create BCP, business continuity planning, disaster recovery planning, incident response plan, implement controls, train. So we implement all our plans. Last one is phase five is maintain, test, and train. So ensure plans actually work. Activities testing, tabletop, simulation, full test, training and awareness, continuous improvement. And so key distinguish here: risk assessment identifies threats, BIA identifies critical assets and defines RTO, RPO. RTO, how fast to recover, how much data loss is acceptable is RPO. RT is downtime tolerance and data loss. RPO is data loss tolerance. Critical asset come from BIA, not risk assessment, right? Not at first phase. Risk assessment, what can happen, what BIA, what matters most. Security and resilience, continuous journey. So now we can quickly discuss regarding DRP in this session. So DRP is also another important topic. So DRP is a disaster recovery plan. Disaster recovery uh, plan. So disaster recovery restore IT systems, data and infrastructure after disaster. The scope is servers, network, applications, data and backups, data centers and cloud. DRP is a technology focused, that we need to keep in mind, technology focused. And so for instance, let's discuss a bank scenario. BCP says customers must access money within 4 hours. Call center must operate within 1 hour, right? And DRP says core banking servers fail over to DRC site and database restored within 15 minutes. So business continuity goal BCP achieved using IT recovery action is DRP, right? So that is another important thing. So BCP keeps the business running and DRP brings the IT back. And DRP supports BCP objective. It comes under BCP umbrella. So it's not a separate thing. It comes under BCP umbrella. So I think these are important points regarding this BCP and disaster recovery plan, and the life cycle or the phases which are important to know. So BCP life cycle. So thank you so much for watching this session. If you have any question or feedback, please share in the feedback section.